Welcome to the Pokemon Trading Card Game European International Championships 2022 from the lovely Frankfurt, Germany.
It's the very first international championship back from COVID.
People are so hyped up, they're ready to go, they're prepared.
A testing group is a group of players that come together, play a lot of games, and try to solve the format. What year did I start playing? 1999.
My goals for the season have always been just to make the World Championships.
Chasing that invite as well. I'm 6 points away.
Ultimately, the job of a testing group is to make each person in the group better.
For Kaya, the pressure's on. You're considered to be one of the best seniors in the game.
It doesn't really matter that I've won Worlds. I'll still see like the big Pikachu trophy as a goal I have.
So far this season, I haven't competed as well as I wanted to. I ended up falling short of the two big events, Salt Lake City and EUIC.
So it's kind of scary in the beginning, not doing great at all, and then having to come back later in the season.
Do you have the cards to start putting the deck for next weekend together?
Yeah, I have them in my bag. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go to League on Tuesday since I don't have tennis.
Yeah.
And get cards from there.
At Indy, I'm hoping to play the deck that beats all the other decks, you know, to play a deck that has good matchups across the field and make top 8 from there.
So those two boxes, since you do very well, those are mine, right?
No.
No?
I don't know anyone else in Europe, to be honest, who's a senior except Kaya. She's the only one who I've played against frequently, and she's a year younger than me. Yeah, she's gotten her Pikachu trophy, yeah. I still have to get mine this year.
That's what this year's about, right, kiddo?
Yeah, getting the Pikachu trophy.
So the regional championships are always a really exciting place to go test your Pokemon skills.
They're kind of a unique situation. It's not an international championship necessarily. They're in several different locations, so they're accessible for so many people to attend, but they're still huge.
It's often where you start your championship point journey to try and qualify for the World Championships.
It's that experience throughout these events and dealing with that pressure and understanding what the level of competition looks like, that at the end of the day is going to prepare them for Worlds more so than just getting the championship points. It's a big time commitment. There's a lot more that goes into the sport before the actual tournament. Preparation is a big deal.
I'd like to say that group of a pretty competitive family. You know, we all try our best no matter what we do. No one's throwing a game for the other person. We're all trying to win. Everyone's trying to get the champion title type of thing. I live in Cape Coral, Florida. This is where I actually learned how to play Pokemon. I used to live in Indy until I was about 7, then we moved down to Florida. And when I was about 9, I picked up the game, and I haven't stopped playing since.
Pokemon is time intensive. There are a lot of hours spent testing, and a lot of these hours are late into the evening. And so trying to find a schedule that balances our household, that was an adjustment, you know, for all of us. When Regan got serious about Pokemon, we decided that online, that sort of education would fit best.
One of the biggest challenges I faced was definitely when I had to choose between online school and regular school. I went to the same school since I was in 1st grade. My best friends went there, you know.
He was having fun. He was financially having success as far as winning, right? So that's always fun for a kid, to win money at what they love to do. And he was getting to travel the world. What kid gets to do that?
When COVID hit, and I was kind of processing everything and hoping that it wouldn't last that long, you know, maybe half a year shutdown. But then it got worse, and it wasn't looking like it was going to reopen.
Regan was of the mindset that, hey, I'm going to go ahead and actually enroll in school and go to school, and wants to play tennis and things like that. Pokemon came back just recently. He's reverse course. At EUIC, the crew really did well together, and he didn't, and it's really driving him, and that's what's changed.
He seemed like he was more focused when he was around the house. He had a purpose in everything he was doing.
It's definitely a reasonable high roll deck, because if you set up with Ice Rider, you kind of just...
You cannot convince me that deck is good. Like, what if I was just playing Mew?
That's true.
In fact, I'm gonna do that.
Like, what are you doing? I'm putting decks together. Come back upstairs, I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, we're putting this other deck together. We're trying to do this. He just did not accept how he finished, and he knew how much better he could be. I told my mom after he left EUIC and he had a bad turnout, I said he's either gonna decide that A, he's okay with this, it'll be all right, like he'll get back in the rhythm, or he's gonna work 10 times harder and just go on an absolute streak.
So Indianapolis regionals are coming up, and it's been crazy. We opened registration and we capped out in Masters in like an hour.
Pokemon's popularity over COVID has just gone like that. Now with like the big influx of players in the game and like regionals registrations like filling up like crazy, it's a big deal because we're seeing like the biggest tournaments we've ever seen for the game ever.
Are we holding tight to the 130?
Yes.
There's a lot of people out there.
Well, 1 o'clock you said you guys can.
I can start checking them.
But they can't come in yet. Mike the AJ. Currently, we are like at 1,080 players.
So do we have enough people to monitor the lines or no? Yes, right now I've got 3 people monitoring the lines.
Oh, well, 1 o'clock you said you guys
take a look? Yeah. Is that okay?
That is perfect. I'm stressed, but it's a good stress. I'm ready.
Sorry, Daryl, I can't see your flag. Hello. All right, so I'm gonna need your play right first.
I guess the B-drill's from you, right?
The B-drill's really good against me.
Like, dark is from you. Then your deck is better than the B-drill.
Because you also beat Urshifu.
I remember at that tournament, I decided on playing Arceus Bees at like 10 o'clock when they were still Isaiah and then we're still testing Urshifu. And Regan was also pretty confident on the B-drill.
No! I have belt in hand too early.
It's honestly, dude, it's fine. It's like an Urshi deck.
So we're all trying to convince each other what to play, and we all have pretty strong opinions because we're all good players in our own rights.
Like, I actually let Regan borrow my B-drill because I didn't think I was gonna play it.
Xander, you're still playing that deck? Bro, it's 10:30, dude!
It's not even 10:30. And then at midnight when he went upstairs, I was like, hey, I'm gonna need this back. I started the game idolizing these players. Like, I loved Sam Chen. I thought he was so cool. I mean, I looked up to Xander as someone who I thought was one of the best players in the world. Best first season in Masters of all time. And then John Ng, one of the best seniors of all time. There are these guys that when I started playing, I looked up to as, you know, they're on a different level.
Isaiah, when I was your age, I had your enthusiasm for this game. Now I'm here for pizza and messing around.
And 6 points.
And 6 points. I need 6 points. Please. I am 6 points away out of 500 for my invite to the World Championships in London, and I would like to pick up the 30 points from top 256 to clinch my invite. Table 5?
Pokemon players, let's have an amazing, fun, and safe time. Trading card game, Pokemon players. Players, are you ready?
Sam Chen in his prime, I would say, is a top 5 player in the game all time. There's no doubt about that. When Sam Chen is playing at 100% Sam Chen, he is an amazing player. Obviously, the break for COVID, everything like that, and just other obligations. He's getting married. He's got real life to deal with.
So Sam has been one of the best players in the game for a while now. He usually gets handed the deck the night before and then just wins a tournament.
And Sam, you can see, very charismatic. That's the Sam I know and love.
So I started playing the Pokemon trading card game when I was 9 years old. And the reason I started playing is because there was a cute girl in my class who went to Pokemon League. And so I thought, well, I have some cards. I should go to Pokemon League as well. I wasn't the only boy in the class who thought that. But that's how I got started. Nothing worked out between us, obviously. We were 9. But I got hooked to the Pokemon trading card game as a result.
This just gave an opening to Sam. Looks like all he's gonna do is flying flip. Sam revealing the Guzman, the energy. Wow. Pulling a miracle game 1.
There is nothing he can do. He has to extend the hand, and that does mean that Sam Chen is going to be moving on to the top 4.
But right now, he's, you know, kind of got like that mental block of like, oh, I need to get my invite. If I don't get my invite, then there's no Worlds. Like, he's been playing in like World Championships or World Championship equivalent events before I was born.
Heads, please. I'll choose to go first.
All turning over for the meeting.
I would definitely like to do very well at Indy since I underperformed at EUIC in Salt Lake. So I think that Indy is definitely a big tournament for me. It is the biggest senior event so far. I definitely feel very defeated if I bombed out of Indy because that'd be the 3rd tournament out of 4 I've been to this year.
Best game. Great. Yeah. Dude, I prized a big charm. I was so... You just took knockouts.
May I ask you what pronoun? He, she. He, she? Sorry, I just wanted to... No, that'd be cool. Make sure.
Pokemon has grown past just being like a children's game at this point. I know back when it came out, grown people didn't play Pokemon as much. That demographic, I feel like, has shifted a ton since then. I'd say in high school versus as an adult, it actually is a lot different.
So I think Regan doesn't want me telling a lot of people that he plays Pokemon. I think when people hear about him being successful at this quote-unquote kids game, they are kind of enamored by it, where he is more embarrassed by it. And I think that that's just where he is as a teenage boy right now.
I think the biggest thing that the game has done me is like it's taught me a lot about like self-confidence. So I was very shy about me playing Pokemon in like elementary and middle school.
I'd get bullied a fair amount. People just thought it was weird. It was like, the thing was just like, oh, play a sport, play soccer, play basketball. People didn't really understand it.
I'd say there's like a curve to the acceptance of Pokemon. It's kind of bizarre. So like it starts up here and like all the kids are like, oh, you play Pokemon like competitively? That's so cool. And they're like, and then you go to like 16 and it's like, what are you, a nerd? And then you get up to like 22, 23, and they're like, oh, you play Pokemon? That's so cool.
There were mixed reviews on my classmates, but you know, everyone in middle school is like that, they're whatever. But when I got up into high school and even now in college, when I tell people about it, they're like, dude, this is the coolest thing ever. And it really like made me feel like I was like, you know, like, yeah, like this is the coolest thing ever. I should have never felt like I needed to like be shy about it or anything. And it definitely taught me a big lesson about self-confidence, just like be yourself.
So one thing that I think could have derailed Regan in some possible way in life, as well as Pokemon, is that he was not growing at a normal rate. We noticed that he was falling off the growth chart, and so his pediatrician recommended a specialist for us to go to as being a good candidate for taking growth hormone. It was pretty noticeable at Pokemon and everywhere else in life that he was very small in comparison to other kids his age.
He's a pretty laid back, humble, relaxed kid. You know, obviously with disappointment, he goes through a thought process. Sometimes he needs his own time, but he doesn't dwell on it. He does well with that.
I've always given him a hard time about his size. He just kind of is him and lets you judge him off of him. His
take was that I'm good. I don't want to take the growth hormone. And so I think that was a much broader life lesson that he can go back and say, you know, I remember I'd listened to myself and that turned out so well, because he has hit a growth spurt now. And I do appreciate all his friends, and particularly the Pokemon community, for accepting him just as he is.
Is like, if I hit, like, dude, all the top players are on Mew and like Whimsicott and stuff. I'm just like, dude, if I hit them, oh my God, I win the tournament. Like,
So who are some of the names that we can expect to be seeing in day 2 tomorrow?
Yeah, just looking at the B-boys.
When we get to an event of this stakes with a break as long as this due to quarantine, these players want to prove to everybody that they are still at the top of their game.
The B guys, the B-boys.
For this event, we were most definitely the B-boys.
Please don't call us the B-boys. No. It's fine.
There's no rust on the gears. They're ready to go. They're ready to keep things kicking, pick things back where they were, and show their dominance in the Pokemon trading card game.
Sam has told us personally that like he's looking at this year as just like improving and trying to get back to that spot he was at.
Right, he's definitely not as good as he was at his peak. He can go back for game, yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, he's fine. But he is still a good player. He can still perform well at events. He can still make good calls.
Well, it comes down to this. I either have it or I don't. I will do this. Well, let me just make sure I have it. I think I have the game.
And so I'm so proud of him for sticking in it, for putting in the time. He's been testing all that he can for these events, and it's been showing.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
I don't have it.
Because he wants to get back to that point where like I cannot stress this enough. Sam, like I said, is a top 5 player when he is 100% Sam Chen up here.
You got it. Good game. I definitely feel like I've been playing worse than my peak. I've been making some mistakes. I haven't been really planning out my turns or the next couple turns quite as well as I have in the past when I used to play a lot more. And so I do think my overall skill level is a little lower after not playing for 2.5 years.
You got one out?
What?
8-1.
5-1. We'll see where I am.
5-1.
Oh my God, I'm so close. I can taste it. Yeah, when I found out when I was going to be on stream, I was really excited. I actually shouted, like, yes, I'm finally on stream. Yes, let's go. Like, because they only stream people with good records. And so I was 5-1, and finally, I've been lobbying for a couple events to get on stream, and I had the record to match.
Sam played my old friend Grant Chen in round 7 of Indianapolis Masters.
This thing is still not knocked out. That's kind of crazy, but action starting out.
And the series was very close. It ended up going to a game 3.
Hold on. Looks like we have some sort of a discrepancy here.
Grant made a game error that was, I guess at this level of event, was a double prize penalty.
They are explaining that this is an irreparable game state.
Unfortunately, you never want to win by a double prize penalty. I don't think this was shown on stream, but after the game, Grant and I stayed a little bit, and for our benefit, I sort of played out my next couple of turns to show Grant that I actually would have had the win, given how I would have drawn. It's sort of like the good thing to do to give him some peace of mind.
Worlds. We're in Worlds. Let's go, boy. I am playing in the World Championships. Woo!
I'm so proud of Sam. I mean, I think this weekend was huge for him. We actually talked about it a little bit, in that it was big for him to get his confidence back.
Let's go.
So, dude, I'm so happy for him that he got his Worlds invite, but that he did so in a fashion where he was at the top tables. He was excited to be playing Pokemon, and he was nervous. He was in the run for top 8. I love Sam.
You're solid or cursed? I can't.
Cursed?
You guys are ready for some terrible jokes. I got my 6 points. I got 60 points. Got too many. Yeah, I can donate some.
50 minutes plus 3 turns. You may begin.
Players who are in their last year seniors, there's a lot of confidence you've got going into that last year. You've performed well. You are at the peak of your division. You are at the last year. You have the most experience out of these players in this division.
So having been a former top-level senior, I know what it's like. In your last year, there's a lot of pressure to really show what you've got and be like, all right, I'm #1, and propel yourself into Masters with that same energy. In my last year in seniors, I went through a rough patch early on as well and had to catch my stride again. And so I definitely felt for Regan a lot when he didn't do as well at Salt Lake and at EUIC.
Our dad really instilled in us when we were younger, like, hey, things gonna happen to you in life that are totally out of your control, nothing you can do about it. And the one thing that you can do is find solutions.
In top 4, I ended up hitting Caleb Rogerson. He actually won Salt Lake City and EUIC, so he hasn't lost an event yet. My hand. And in game 3, time was actually called. Went on for a super long time. He actually attached the wrong energy, which gave me an opening with B-Drill to take the game.
To finally have that moment where you break through, when you get that performance that you're really looking for, when you've maybe had a couple rough tournaments, a couple rough showings, or you've taken a break for a while and you finally come back into things, it's maybe the best feeling you can have in Pokemon, to break through that barrier, because from there you just have that momentum to continue pushing through, to continue working hard.
It felt very, very good winning a regional event, just knowing that I'm back, and
congratulations.
Happy Mother's Day. To win in my hometown, because this is Indianapolis is where I was born, so that definitely feels very, very good.
I could not be more proud of him. I mean, I love Regan to death. I love seeing him succeed, and so I'm so happy for him that he finally got that win that he's been deserving.
Regan and I, we both sort of sat down, we tested, and we just put our trust in the group. And for me, it was really great getting a big, deep finish at the regionals. For Regan, winning another regional in seniors is a fantastic accomplishment. So I think us putting our trust in the group and playing the deck that we all worked on paid dividends for both of us.
I'm proud of the work he's put in, but it's his success. You know what I mean? It's his success, and I couldn't be happier for him. As I've told you before, I'll get him to where he needs to go. I'll make sure he has the resources. The rest is up to him.
But when he won Indy, ever since then, man, he's been killing it.
So at New Jersey and Vancouver, I won back-to-back-to-back.
I don't care what division you're in, winning 3 regionals in a row is insane.
Steve told me, because Steve is always looking at rankings, and so Steve told me that Regan was ranked #1 in the world.
It is nice to, you know, finally be back on top after the start of the season.
Wait, what did I select? No.
Tim, why did you select a theme deck? What?
I'm sorry.
Guys, I think theme deck practice is what we need to do today. I think
Sam's trolling for the camera. What's new?
So NAIC is the pinnacle of like everything. You have all the best players playing from around the world. I'm happy that it's happening 2 hours away from me.
The goal for me is to finish #1 in North America. Currently, I'm 5th right now. Then Isaiah is like just right under me in 7th.
I'm still a first-year master, and while I have had a lot of success this year, I feel like I am still working to prove that even though I'm a lot younger than a lot of the competition, I am one of the best players in the world.
There's about 200 seniors who end up showing up to NAIC, which is a lot bigger than the regionals we've had this year.
Regan is in his last senior year, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing him again. I haven't played him in a long time, and it's going to be interesting to see how it goes.
Every single NAIC have been right before Worlds. It's always been that last crunch time for some of the players. So the pressure is on